Welcome back to The Deep Dive. We're the show that takes a whole pile of sources, digs out the really interesting bits, and hopefully leaves you feeling, smarter, maybe even a bit surprised.
Yeah.
And today we're doing something, well, a little different. We're not looking at a scientific study or some dusty historical record.
No, this time our source material is actually, excerpts from a narrative.
Yeah.
A story called The Tethered.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it gives us this really fascinating case study into magical problems, like deep disruption and how you adapt. Or try to.
It's a really compelling setup.
Yeah. I mean, imagine this. You wake up one day and your most basic skill, something core to who you are, maybe the thing you're best known for, it just doesn't work anymore.
It's gone. Like a concert pianist suddenly unable to hear the notes, maybe?
Or, a sprinter whose legs just won't run. That's pretty much the nightmare facing two really powerful magic users in this story. Their magic, once totally reliable, second nature, just vanishes. Poof.
But that's not even the weirdest part, is it? Not even close. Because this loss leads them to find this incredibly strange connection between them. Something shared, binding them together in ways they definitely didn't ask for and, frankly, probably hate.
Right.
So our mission today is to really unpack this whole strange, powerful, magical situation. We want to look at how these two who were, top-tier magic users suddenly lose everything, how they kind of stumble almost completely by accident onto this bizarre shared link, and what that really means for, how they see power, how they're forced to maybe collaborate, and what it does to their own sense of self, their limits.
And we're aiming to go a bit deeper than just, retelling the plot points. We want to explore why it all matters.
Yeah.
Why these events are so significant, not just for them in the story, but for what we can maybe learn about facing huge, sudden changes. Or, being thrown into situations where you have to depend on someone else, maybe someone you don't even like.
Forced interdependence. Sounds fun.
Yeah.
Well, the narrative uses it to explore how sometimes losing something big can paradoxically open up something new. Like this forced teamwork, unlocking a kind of power they never had alone. It sort of redefines what strength even means for them.
So we'll follow their journey from, total confusion.
Right, through all the dead ends and frustration.
To maybe, possibly, sort of accepting this new, really difficult shared reality.
Exactly. It's quite a ride.
Okay, well, let's dive right into this remarkable turn of events. So it all kicks off with this, you called it a seismic shock. And that feels right. It's fundamental. The story really paints a picture of magic just vanishing, but not like a thunderclap.
No, not dramatic like that. It's described more as a slow, creeping silence, a hollowness.
Ugh, that sounds almost worse. Like the world just lost its color or its sound. The energy you're used to feeling, interacting with, just gone. Still.
Yeah, an absence that's so total it feels like a presence itself, a suffocating lack.
And just think about that psychologically. Your superpower, the thing that defines you maybe, suddenly dry.
Yeah.
Kaput.
It's deeply unsettling. And what's really clever in the source material is how it shows this absence hitting our two main characters, Hermione Granger and Draco Malfoy, in such different ways. But the outcome, devastating for both.
Right. So Hermione first. How does it hit her?
For her, it's almost quiet. Domestic even, which makes it somehow more chilling. She's apparently trying to do a simple reparo on a chipped teacup.
Okay, like Magic 101, something she could probably do half asleep.
Exactly. Totally mundane. But the text says her magic just fizzled out, leaves her holding this useless shard of porcelain.
Wow, so the absolute basic stuff is failing. That contrast, the simple task versus the absolute failure of this huge ability.
Yeah.
That really drives home how total this disruption.
Precisely. It wasn't some epic battle spell gone wrong. It was just fixing a cup. Nothing. The lack of drama almost makes the horror sink in deeper.
And then there's Draco Malfoy. His experience sounds a bit more, Malfoy-ish.
Yeah.
More dramatic.
A little bit, yeah. He's apparently attempting something much trickier, a complex charm on a newly discovered species of fwooper. So he's doing high-level stuff, experimenting.
Right, pushing boundaries.
But his magic fails just as spectacularly. Only instead of fizzling, it causes a minor explosion of iridescent feathers.
Okay, wait. Feathers. Like glitter bomb feathers.
Pretty much. Suddenly Malfoy, Mr. Cool and Composed, is probably standing there covered in shimmering bird fluff.
There's a dark humor there, definitely. This complex spell just backfires in the messiest, most basic way possible.
It really highlights the loss of control, the lack of finesse, all that power just erupting into chaotic, sparkly debris.
So it hits them differently on the surface, quiet fizzle versus feathery explosion, but the core problem is identical.
Exactly. That's what's fascinating, the contrast in how it manifests. Hermione's feels internal, like the power source just died. Draco's is external, uncontrolled, chaotic. But despite those surface differences, the root issue is the same. Complete, sudden, inexplicable, magical failure. Which makes you wonder, right? Does the type of spell even matter here?
Or how good you are. Apparently not.
Doesn't seem like it. Whether it's simple or complex, whether you're Hermione Granger or Draco Malfoy, the result is zero magic. It suggests this. Whatever it is, operates way deeper than just spell mechanics. It's hitting the very source, the connection itself.
A total system failure.
Yeah. Not just a glitch, a full shutdown.
Okay, so after these deeply confusing and probably incredibly embarrassing moments,
Humiliating, probably, yeah.
they both maybe inevitably end up at the Ministry, specifically the Department of Magical Accidents and Catastrophes. Which sounds about right.
The perfect place for them at that moment.
And the story finds them there, just completely baffled and infuriated. I can just picture it. Two of the most magically gifted people of their generation, totally powerless, probably sitting there in absolute stony silence, or maybe barely stopping themselves from hexing the furniture, except they can't.
Right. The frustration must be boiling. The text gives us a snippet. Malfoy apparently says something like, "I can't cast a single spell, Granger. It's like my wand is a stick of wood."
Wow. Just a dead stick. All that power, gone.
And Hermione, maybe a bit more resigned, but just as lost, apparently just confirms, "Mine too. The healers are mystified."
The healers are mystified. Okay, that's big. These are the experts, right?
Right.
The ones who fix magical problems.
Exactly. If they don't have a clue, it tells you this isn't your average curse or magical illness. It's operating on a whole other level.
Beyond standard magical checkups.
Way beyond. It's not something you can just flush out with a potion or zap with a counter curse. It implies something foundational. Like it's woven right into the very fabric of their magic.
Not just blocking it, but part of it now.
That's what it suggests. A deep, systemic change that standard magic just can't touch or even properly diagnose. It's unprecedented. It forces them, and us reading it, to realize this isn't a problem to be solved in the usual way. It's a new reality they have to somehow understand.
A genuine magical mystery. Okay, so the experts are stumped. How do they figure out what's going on? It wasn't a spell, you said.
No, not a spell, which is another twist. The breakthrough comes from just observation, noticing a physical change. And surprisingly, it's Malfoy who spots it first.
Malfoy. Huh. Okay. What does he see?
Well, get this. His dark mark. It's gone.
The dark mark is gone. Just like that.
Vanished. But not just gone. It's been replaced by a faint silver rune that pulsed with a soft, steady light right there on his left forearm.
Oh, okay, that's huge. Symbolically, I mean.
Yeah.
The mark represented so much. His past, his family, Voldemort.
Everything. Servitude, dark choices, a heavy burden. And it's just overwritten, not removed by him, but replaced by this new unknown thing, this glowing silver rune. It's like his past identity was forcibly erased and stamped over with something else entirely.
A new brand, almost. But what does it mean?
They don't know. That's the terrifying part. It's not just a cosmetic change. It feels like a sign of this profound, involuntary transformation. A new mark, a new mystery tied to their lost magic.
And then Hermione.
She looks down, maybe already checking her own arm after seeing his, and her sleeve's already pushed up, and there it is. A matching rune, a swirling knot of silver on her inner wrist.
A matching rune. Oh, man. The realization in that moment, seeing the physical proof that this isn't just happening to them individually, but connecting them.
Exactly. Instant recognition. This shared, unique, unwanted mark. And their conclusion is immediate, apparently. A curse, obviously.
Well, yeah. What else could it be?
And a powerful one. They figure if you can just bypass everything they know about magic. Which leads straight to the million-dollar question.
But why us?
Bingo! Out of everyone, why link them together with this bizarre magical affliction?
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting. The rune isn't just a sign of the problem.
The narrative suggests it is the problem, or at least the focal point of it. It's not just a symptom, like a magical rash. It seems to be the interface of the curse.
So the curse is physically manifested on them.
It seems so, which really makes you think about how curses work, right? This one isn't just like putting a damper on their magic. It feels like it's actively rewriting their magical signature.
Rewriting it. How?
Well, the description is specific. A swirling knot of silver, pulsing with light, That sounds intricate, maybe even organic, like it's integrated right into their magical cores.
Like a parasite changing its host.
That's a good analogy. It suggests a curse designed for deep systemic change, not just turning off the power switch. Maybe it's even, as the source hints later, trying to create a new kind of magic through them, even if it feels like destruction initially. It's not just suppression, it's alteration.
Wow. Okay. So naturally, facing this, they try to fix it, right? Throw the magical kitchen sink at it.
Oh yeah, the text is clear. They tried every diagnostic charm and curse-breaking incantation they knew, alone and together, but nothing worked.
Alone and together. So even combining their knowledge didn't help at this stage.
Nope. Total dead end. You can just imagine the frustration mounting, trying everything, every standard procedure, every obscure counter curse they could remember or look up, and just nothing.
Because, as the story says, it's woven into the very fabric of their magic.
Exactly. That phrase is key. Woven into the fabric, and a parasitic link that sapped their power. It's not something on their magic, it's inside it. Maybe even feeding off their individual power to sustain itself or redirect it somehow.
So the usual magical first aid kit is useless. This isn't a cut. It's like their whole circulatory system has been rerouted.
That's a great way to put it. It underscores that some magical problems just aren't fixable with the standard toolkit. This curse, being described as parasitic and woven in, implies this really deep, maybe permanent connection.
Symbiotic, almost. Even if it's unwanted.
Could be. It forces them to completely rethink how magic even works for them now. It's not their power anymore in the same way. It's compromised, changed. It points to incredibly sophisticated magic behind the curse. Not just powerful, but intricate, designed to resist conventional solutions.
High-level magical meddling. Okay. So they're stuck. Powerless individually, marked by these weird runes, healers baffled, all known fixes useless. Where do they go from here?
Well, as often happens when you hit a complete wall, the breakthrough comes from somewhere completely unexpected.
Not from some ancient scroll or brilliant deduction.
Nope, it comes by accident during a particularly heated argument about a misplaced dictionary.
A dictionary? Seriously. Their magical fate hinges on a fight over a dictionary.
Apparently so.
Yeah.
It's such a perfectly mundane, relatable trigger for such a massive revelation. Just goes to show, right?
Okay, set the scene. How does a dictionary fight reveal the secret to their magic?
So, picture this. They're probably already tense, frustrated. Malfoy, in a fit of pique, just pure annoyance, mutters Wingardium Leviosa at a file cabinet. Just a frustrated gesture, not really trying to do magic properly.
Okay.
And crucially, at the exact same moment, Hermione, having a similar boost of irritation, does the exact same spell, Wingardium Leviosa.
Simultaneously. But not planned.
Completely unplanned. Just a synchronized moment of shared frustration aimed magically at the same object.
And it works.
Oh, it works. But how it works is the shocker. The file cabinet didn't just lift, it soared effortlessly to the ceiling and hovered there, perfectly still.
Effortlessly. Perfectly still. That sounds better than normal magic, almost.
Exactly. That's the key takeaway. It wasn't just functional, it was superior. More powerful, more controlled than perhaps either of them could have managed alone even before the curse.
Well, so their annoyance turned into superpowered levitation.
In that specific synchronized moment, yes. And the story says their anger immediately vanishes, replaced by this dawning, terrifying realization.
The day drops.
Big time. And it's Hermione who apparently voices it, maybe whispering, "Our magic, it's not gone, it's tethered."
Tethered. Wow. That's the aha moment. From total failure and frustration arguing over a book to this huge discovery. What does that accidental success tell us about how this curse actually works?
Well, the most startling thing is that tethering isn't just about, say, needing two keys to turn the ignition. It's about amplification.
Right, the effortless soaring.
Yeah, that suggests when their magic syncs up, it creates a synergy. It becomes more than the sum of its parts. 1 + 1 equals maybe 5.
So, is it even really a curse? Or is it something else? Like a forced upgrade, but with really terrible user conditions?
That's the million-galleon question, isn't it? The narrative definitely plays with that ambiguity. Was the intent malicious, just to cripple them? Or was it designed, however strangely, to force them into this new, combined, potentially more powerful state? The accidental success hints at the latter, like the shared emotion, the synchronized intent, unlocked this latent potential the curse itself created.
You turn their weakness needing each other into a potential strength. Mind-bending.
It flips the whole script on their problem.
Okay, so their magic isn't gone, it's bound. Tethered? How does that actually work day to day? or spell to spell.
It's incredibly restrictive, based on the description. To cast even the simplest spell, they needed to act in concert, their magical cores syncing up in a complex, involuntary rhythm.
Involuntary rhythm, so it's not just about saying the words at the same time.
Apparently not. It sounds deeper than that. Like their actual magical energy, their cores, have to find this shared beat, this resonance. And it's not something they consciously control, at least not easily.
And there's a physical element, too.
Yeah, a major one. They have to be close, in the same room, sometimes even touching, for the magic to work.
Wow. Okay, for two people like them, powerful, used to being independent, and historically, well, not fans of each other, that's huge. Constant proximity. Physical contact sometimes.
Imagine the awkwardness, the tension, the sheer impracticality.
And the text says they struggle. It's not like, oh, great, we figured it out, now we're super wizards.
And not at all. It mentions a week of fumbling, awkward attempts. Things like failed Lumos spells and pathetic half-formed shields.
Failing at Lumos, just making light. That's brutal.
It really emphasizes the difficulty. They know the theory now, they need to sync up. But putting it into practice for even basic spells is incredibly hard. They went from mastery to absolute beginners again, but worse because they're dependent on each other.
It's, like you said, two virtuoso musicians forced to play one instrument, needing perfect timing, perfect harmony, just to get a single note out.
Exactly. And they're not used to playing together at all. Their frustration must have been off the charts. And thinking about that involuntary rhythm, that points to something really profound, doesn't it? It's not just about coordinating actions.
No, it sounds almost subconscious. Like their magic itself has to agree, has to find this shared pulse.
Right. It suggests a connection that bypasses conscious thought, maybe operating on an instinctual or emotional level. And the need for physical closeness reinforces that it's not just about sharing power across a distance. It's about sharing presence, energy, maybe even intent in a very immediate way.
So the curse isn't just forcing them to work together, it's forcing a kind of deep attunement between them.
That seems to be the implication. It's stripping away their individual magical autonomy and imposing this deep, shared operational mode. It's less about cooperation and more about fundamental entanglement.
Entanglement, that's a good word for it. And achieving that, especially for two people with their history and personality,
requires immense effort, mental, emotional, magical. The fumbling isn't just about lacking power. It's about lacking that synchronicity, that comfort level, that shared rhythm. It's a whole new way of being magical, and it demands they let go of individual control to tap into this collective potential. It's a huge ask.
So they're stuck in this phase, knowing how it works, theoretically, but mostly failing. The story mentions this low point, right? A particularly embarrassing failure to conjure a simple cup of tea in Hermione's flat.
Yeah, talk about adding insult to injury. It can't even make tea. It really grounds their struggle in the everyday, the mundane. Two magical powerhouses, defeated by basic hospitality.
It's almost comical, but also really illustrates their helplessness at this stage. But then, something changes the dynamic.
Right, a classic catalyst. An external annoyance.
A stray Krupp had wandered into the building and was scratching at her front door, its barks echoing loudly.
A Krupp, like a magical dog. So not exactly a world-ending threat.
No, just noisy and irritating.
A
minor problem disrupting their already frustrating evening.
And this barking dog becomes important.
Weirdly, yes. Because it shifts things. The domestic setting, the simple annoyance, it highlights their ongoing failure, but it also presents a very concrete, immediate problem they both want to solve right now.
A shared goal, even if it's just make the dog stop barking.
Exactly. It forces them to actually try to apply their tethered magic to a real-world, low-stakes problem, which ironically seems to lead them towards a higher-stakes solution. It's that, okay, what do we do moment that sparks something.
Right. So Hermione, being Hermione, decides they need to deal with it. I need to get rid of that. Practical. And Malfoy, still apparently capable of sarcasm even when magically inept, apparently sneers back, how? By yelling at it. Yeah, the old dynamic is still there, bubbling under the surface.
But Hermione's got a plan. A slightly alarming plan. No, by using magic, we're going to cast Expulso. It'll scare it off without harming it.
Expulso, the blasting curse. On a dog scratching at the door.
That's Malfoy's reaction, too. He's like, you want to cast a blasting curse on a dog? It sounds like using a cannon to swat a fly. Completely over the top.
Totally disproportionate.
But Hermione has this theory, this justification. She says, it's the only thing strong enough to get our magic to work properly. And then the key insight. Our magic seems to respond better to higher stakes.
Okay, now that is a fascinating hypothesis. The bigger the spell, the bigger the risk, the better their connection works.
It seems like it. They need that jolt, that intensity, maybe that shared focus that comes with attempting something powerful, something with consequence, even if the target is just a noisy Krupp. But is it really the stakes or something else?
That's the crucial question the narrative raises. Is it objectively higher stakes, like life or death danger, or is it more about the internal state it generates, the heightened emotion, the intense focus, the sheer urgency of trying to make something powerful happen?
Right, because blasting a Krupp isn't exactly fighting Voldemort.
Exactly. The source material seems to lean towards the internal state being key. The external trigger, the dog, the need for a strong spell acts as a focusing lens. It forces their individual wills, their magical intentions, into alignment.
So it's the shared intensity or intent that makes the magic flow better.
That seems more likely. It suggests their combined magic is like tuning forks. It needs a strong, clear, shared vibration, a strong emotional pulse or focused goal to really resonate and unleash its power. It's less about the danger level and more about achieving that perfect internal synchronicity, which is easier when they're really pushing for something.
The power of shared purpose, amplified by trying something big. Okay. That makes a weird kind of sense. So they decide to go for it. The expulso. On the dog. This feels like a terrible idea, but okay. They get ready.
The description is quite vivid. They stood side by side, wands raised. Hermione's focusing on intention and the desired effect. Malfoy, dropping the sneer for a moment, shows intense concentration.
They're actually trying to sync up properly this time.
Looks like it. They even do a countdown. On 3, 1, 2, and as they cast, their wands move in perfect synchrony.
Not just timed, but synchronous, like a dance move.
Yes, and the text emphasizes a sudden, powerful surge of energy binding them together. It's not just two spells, it's one combined force. And the physical proof.
The runes.
The silver runes flared brightly, lit right up, showing that the tether, the curse itself, is now the conduit for this powerful combined magic.
Wow. So the thing that stopped them is now enabling them when they get it right.
Exactly. It's a confirmation that their theory, however strange, was right. That intense, synchronized effort activated the tether in a powerful way. It's a real breakthrough moment, magically speaking. The connection is palpable, physical.
Okay, runes flaring, energy surging. Did they successfully scare the Krupp without hitting it?
Well, not quite according to plan. The execution was a bit off.
Oh.
A blast of pure magic erupted from their wands, all right. Powerful stuff. But it wasn't aimed at the door.
Where'd it go?
At the ceiling.
The ceiling.
Yep. A chunk of plaster broke loose and fell onto the floor with a loud thump.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
They missed the door entirely and blasted the ceiling. But it was powerful magic.
Undeniably powerful. Just
Yeah.
poorly aimed. But hey, mission accomplished. Sort of. The Krupp, frightened by the noise, let out a yelp and fled.
So the loud crashing sound scared it off anyway. Accidental success via property damage. Classic.
Pretty much. And then comes maybe the most important part of the whole scene.
The aftermath.
Yeah. They look at the mess, the hole in the ceiling, the plaster dust everywhere. Then they look at each other, and a shared, exasperated laugh bubbling up from the chaos.
They laughed together after that.
Shared, exasperated laughter. Not angry, not blaming. Just this moment of absurdity, relief, and maybe shared accomplishment, however messy.
That feels huge for them, given their history. What's the significance of that laugh?
It's massive. Because, yes, they misaimed the spell, but they did it. They achieved powerful synchronized magic. That's a win. But the laugh, that's the relational breakthrough.
Wow.
It's the first genuine crack in that wall of animosity. A moment of shared human connection, finding humor in their ridiculous, chaotic situation. It's born from the curse, from the shared struggle. It suggests maybe, just maybe, this forced collaboration could become something more than just tolerance.
A hint of actual partnership.
Exactly. It's that shared vulnerability, that mutual understanding of, look what we just did, look at this mess, isn't this insane? It breaks down barriers in a way that just succeeding perfectly might not have. It's the shared imperfection that connects them. It's the seed of something new growing in the rubble.
So that moment, that laugh, seems to mark a real turning point, psychologically. The story says their initial feeling was stark. The curse was a prison. Trapped. Helpless.
Understandably so. It stripped them of their agency, their power.
But after this,
Yeah.
chaotic success, this shared moment, the feeling shifts. But for the first time, it felt less like a cage and more like a challenge.
That's a powerful reframe.
Huge. From victim to, well, maybe not hero yet, but active participant in their own problem. And the realization that follows is key. A very, very difficult challenge that they would have to face together.
Acceptance, not of defeat, but of the path forward.
So what caused that shift? Was it just managing one powerful spell even badly? Was it the laugh? Or was it tasting that potential, that amplified power they generated together?
I think it's likely a combination of all those things. It's not just accepting the curse anymore. It's almost embracing the constraint as the new rule book for the game.
Okay.
The shared laugh broke the ice. The successful, if messy, spell proved the potential. And realizing that their combined power could be immense, it changes the whole equation. Suddenly, this thing that crippled them might actually be the key to unlocking something unprecedented.
If they can figure out how to wield it together.
Right. It shifts from, woe is me, my magic is gone, to, okay, how do we make this work? It reframes the limitation not as an ending, but as the start of a new, incredibly difficult but potentially rewarding, collaborative journey. It taps into that idea, how often are our biggest perceived weaknesses actually doorways to new strengths, especially if we tackle them with others?
So where does that leave them? And what does it tell us? Their old way of being powerful, their individual magic is gone, done.
Irrevocably altered, it seems.
But this new thing, this combined tethered power, especially when they're, intensely focused or maybe stressed, is potentially massive, maybe even bigger than what they had before.
Their potential's there, yeah, if they can master the synchronicity.
And the curse itself forces them